minutes left.
Yeah, but I already did it.
I know. I was waiting for this to go live.
Yeah, but I already did it here.
Why I was waiting for this to go live over here.
All right, well.
We'll check it out. It's live right here in the video.
Wait, is it live right there?
Guys, if you can't tell, we've been waking up. We've been sleeping none at all, and it's starting to hit us pretty bad.
Yeah.
Thank God it's the last day.
Yeah.
Because we're tired.
I'm about up my limit.
Yeah. No movies for us today, guys.
Yeah.
We're just gonna talk about yesterday's.
Yeah.
And move on. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Only Stupid Answers Fantastic Fest podcast experience. Yay. This is where we talk about all the movies we watched the day before and let you know on all the craziness of Fantastic Fest so that next year you guys come and join us and it just becomes the Only Stupid Answers Fest. And we talk about podcasts and we watch movies and a lot of Flash and Superman stuff all over.
Yeah, I think instead of like 5 movies, how many movies do you think they play total? Like 10, 12?
A day?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, well, but for the Only Stupid Answers Fest, 2.
There's 2.
Yeah.
2. Nothing overlapping.
No.
Yeah, we're just filling up every single theater with
Yeah.
isn't it the worst when you watch a movie you can't talk about with your friends? Well, then we take all that worry out for you. No, don't.
Just don't. So, Sam.
No.
What did you see yesterday?
I don't remember. I decided after we shot our Big Boy episode, I stayed back. I tried to take a bath, and the tub is not built for baths. And so I just...
It's been dripping for a minute. I can't quite figure out how to shut it off. Like, I've turned every one of those knobs like 15 times. And it's still just...
I used some tools and stuff. I tried to make it stop, or I tried to make... One, it looked like it wasn't going to drain, and I was like, this is fucking gross. I hate this. I'm gross. We all know this.
Yeah.
We don't want this. We don't want this.
Yeah, you stayed back.
But you saw...
Man, I didn't get any rest yesterday. I saw Blade of the Immortal.
What?
Which was dope. It was Takeshi Miike's 100th film. How did he do it? Good question. I don't know. Especially if they all look like this, because it looked like a lot of work. It follows a samurai who is very good at... We have an opening sequence where he just kills so many people. So many people get dismembered and killed and ripped apart in this movie.
Why do you do that?
Why do you do that? And a witch finds him and fills him with bloodworms. I basically reassemble his body should a limb get cut off or whatever.
Like, it rebuilt it, or you yanks the old one back?
He yanks the old one back in. So gross. And he becomes functionally immortal 50 years later. Girl's father is killed, and worse things happen to her mother. And so she's told that there's a warrior that cannot be killed. So she goes to hire him to kill this clan of people that murdered her family. It's very flashy. It's very over the top. It's very cool. It's great. I think my favorite bit, just small spoilers, is there's a moment. Maybe no, never mind. It is a spoiler. Never mind.
I doubt a lot of people are going to go see Blade of the Immortal. I think it's okay.
Yeah, I don't. But in case let me rephrase it this way. He when he's made immortal, he's ripped to shit. So he's got scar, like his eye is scarred shut, and he's got an X scar on his chest. He's just scarred to shit. There's a moment where the scars on his body like explode.
Oh,
and it's insane.
He must need some scars guard.
Yeah. Oh, I don't really know what that means.
I just wanted to say the last name of the guy who plays it.
Yeah, it's not the last name of the guy from True Blood and Big Little Lies. Yeah.
We talking about the same person?
No, I'm talking about that shockingly beautiful man that plays Tarzan. That played the most recent Tarzan with Margot Robbie.
That's his brother.
Yeah. It's good. There's good genes going on in that family. Whatever those parents did, they did something right.
Good job.
But yeah, so that was a lot of fun. I'm gonna be completely honest, keep it 100. Like now, incredibly exhausted. So even though this movie was insane, I was just fighting so hard to stay conscious. I don't think I fell asleep through any of it. But even then, when you're having to fight that hard, stay up, it so creates this weird dream state. Like, is this happening? Am I really watching this movie.
This is a fever dream.
I did completely snap into focus for the finale, which is insane. A lot of cool characters that have a lot of cool different fighting styles and stuff.
Great.
So if you're into that shit, I highly recommend it. It's based off a manga, so if you're into any of that shit, I highly recommend it.
Very cool. Yeah, I did have a ticket to that, but I stayed back. Kind of glad I did because I just needed to.
You lucky son of a bitch. That was one of the movies that I was really looking forward to, so I couldn't.
Yeah. Well, I went and saw a movie after that I cannot say I was looking forward to, and it did not pay off, and I'm so many questions, and I'm not the only one that's been has questions. Most people have many questions.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where you're like, can anybody explain to me what happened?
No, yeah, and I'm like, because I have to pee. I have to pee. So I left for like 2 seconds, but I'm like, I know what happened in between, but that doesn't mean okay. Anyways, it's called the movie I saw.
Yes.
It was only 84 minutes and it felt like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Jesus. It's called All You Can Eat Buddha. And the synopsis reads: In these hypnotic tale, I fucked up my words. The arrival of a large, enigmatic guest at a picturesque, all-inclusive resort signals a series of events that indicate he's able to perform miracles. Now, I thought we were getting some kind of cool messiah or storyline or someone who gets abilities or something with magic or something like that. Yeah. I couldn't tell you if that happened. No. It did, because some stuff that's a little unbelievable happened.
Yeah.
Kind of, and he gets followers, but it makes no sense where they came from or what happened. And I was like, is this a metaphor for something? I'm like, the only metaphor that's happening, it's not one, because it's really just a cause and effect thing. It's like if I call a metaphor, like if a lightning storm happened and a tree got hit in my yard. It's like, no, that just is what happens because the storm happened. So, because for a second I was like, well, there's a revolution outside, and then the resort kind of turns into pits. And I'm just like, no, that would have happened. Like that's not. And then like, I guess, I don't know. It's this weird story where this guy who doesn't make any sense, like why I'm supposed to root for him. He saves a giant octopus from getting caught in the net on a beach. He lets it back, and then the octopus like talks to him and says like, you can get all these things, like people will listen to you, and you can eat anything you desire, blah, blah, blah. And so he just has a lot of sex, and he eats a shit ton of food, and then like
living the dream, man.
Everything goes to shit fast, and it's weird what the hell's happening. Like he just starts eating rotten food because all the food's gone from the island that he's on. I couldn't tell you. And like, there's only one, maybe 2 reviews out there.
Could it possibly be? Be careful what you wish for.
But he didn't wish for anything. All he did was help this thing, and it's like, oh, as a thank you, here's this, and it doesn't say a warning. It doesn't say anything.
So it's not a monkey's paw situation.
No, like I don't, because he doesn't even want to be around people. Like he that is a line he says many times,
repeatedly.
Yeah, he really
won't
does.
Shut up about it.
He barely understands what's happening. It's very strange. Also, he doesn't change his facial expression ever.
Yeah.
So it's like, I wasn't feeling it. Also, and everyone I was talking to, I was like, did we all miss something like that made this movie like understandable, comprehensible? No, we didn't miss it.
Classic.
Yeah.
Well, that sucks. That sucks. Yeah.
And it hit me that like sometimes, even though indie films are like, oh, they're taking risks, they're doing different types of shots, you're like, a lot of indie films start to look the same after a while. They all have like these long notes that are being held out by some kind of either string or electronic instrument, or you have a zoom that's from way far off and you're coming in really slowly. Like, do other movies have these? Yes, but do a lot of indie movies do this?
Yeah, there's definitely a language to a lot of indie movies that I don't. You got to choose what's right for your movie.
Yeah, which I'm not judging. I'm just like that. I could see that this was a new filmmaker. This is what this guy had mainly been a cinematographer, and now he's making movies. And he'd only been a cinematographer for like one other movie, and then he moved to directing. So when he takes like tropes like that, I'm like, oh, okay, I get it, because you're watching things that are near you and you're inspired by it, which not bad, but like it is a very pretty movie, but not for me. But we took a break because we went.
I saw a movie while you were seeing that movie.
You did?
Yes.
What are you doing?
Tigers Are Not Afraid.
Did that one have a tiger?
Oh, that's a spoiler.
I can't tell you.
No, it's a spoiler. I can't tell you that. But I want to get this right.
No!
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Oh, it's stretching.
That was startling.
I
hope the kids at home heard that one. I was scrolling through the movies and I just remembered an experience we got to have at the end of the evening before our final movie. That was a lot of fun. But we're going to save that for when I'm done talking about this. Damn it, it's in the last fucking page. Okay. Yeah, Issa Lopez. Damn it, I was right. So I went to see Tigers Are Not Afraid, which is from Issa Lopez, who's the Mexican female filmmaker. This is her third feature, and it's about. There's been a lot of movies made about like the cartel, and like crime, mafia, blah, 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 and then about like the people they kill or whatever. And I was like, hey, those people that they killed or kidnapped that are just gone and vanished, what happened to their kids? And the answer is the government doesn't do anything. Those kids are just not being watched by anyone, not being kept track of. And so this follows a girl whose mom vanishes, and she takes a minute to acknowledge it, but the obvious answer is that she's just been, people just go missing thanks to the cartel. There's whole town. There's an opening crawl, whatever, that talks about how that it's gotten to the point that there are some towns in Mexico that are just ghost towns because everybody's been just snatched.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's bad. It's real bad. So this girl connects up with a bunch of other orphaned children and tries to figure out what to do now that her mom's gone. And so it does connect up with some cartel stuff. Like they have to deal with some members of the cartel, but it's not really about that. It's about these kids. The kid actors were great. They were so good. And there's a magical realism element to it that reminded me a lot of Guillermo del Toro.
I remember that quote she said was
great. She was a Q&A after, and somebody asked her about it, and she's like, us Mexicans and Latin America, people from Latin America, we just can't escape it. The magic. We can't get the magic's in us. And it's just I check it out because it's a really cool.
That's an important story to tell.
It's an important story to tell, and people aren't talking about. And also,
no, I wouldn't. I mean, that seems like a logical thing to think about, but for some reason, I never catch myself thinking about it.
Same, absolutely. Yeah. I'm in the same boat. It's very engaging. The horror elements are cool. The cool movie elements are cool. The important movie elements are important. And yeah, so that was a blast. I'm glad I was, because I was so damn tired, and I wanted to see Body, and because of certain situations.
Which one was Body?
Body was directed by Joseph Kahn, who directed a lot of Taylor Swift's videos and directed that Power Ranger short that everybody lost their mind over. And it follows a battle rapper that like a very white privileged liberal college grad who's writing a thesis paper who finds he's shockingly gifted at battle rap, but his style is very opposite the rest of his personality. Mm-hmm. And so him dealing with that, and apparently got a standing ovation and shit. But because of other stuff, I was probably gonna have to miss it, but I was kind of thinking like, maybe I could bail on Tigers Aren't Afraid. I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did it. I didn't because it was one of those, you can't it's good to have those pleasant surprises, you know, because on the back hat, like my first day was all pleasant surprises. Mm. But then once you get in movies, like, oh, I've heard about that, I need to see that. Sometimes it's good to see movies that you haven't heard of. Mm. Yeah. That's
a good treat. Also, if you're doing film festivals, that's how you should do it. Watch, I mean, obviously there's gonna be a lot of buzz around some, and you should try to see them, but you surprise yourself. It's fun. But we took a break because we went and hung out with a bunch of awesome muscle ears.
It was amazing. It was a lot of fun.
There were, I think we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, over 10. Yeah. We had over 10 people come and join us. And it was pretty last minute. It was like a day's notice to come and hang out at the Shake Shack.
Yeah.
And we all talked. It was awesome meeting all you guys. We posted photos on our Instagram and Twitter. Everybody's such nice people.
Yeah, man.
And look, some of them even made friends because some people just moved to Austin. Because most people we meet don't live. They weren't born here. They just traveled. They transferred here.
Yeah, it's a lot like LA, where it's like everybody feels like they're a transplant. I think 2 people that were there were born and raised in or around Austin.
Mm-hmm. I'm an LA baby.
I thought you said I was born and raised in Austin.
I was born and raised in Austin.
Yeah, but it was funny because they kept being like, "Oh, thank you." It's like, no, I mean, no, thank you.
Yeah,
like,
no, seriously,
yeah, thank you for coming out here. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for. We wouldn't be able to do any of this without you guys. So thank you.
I don't think they know. We have to figure out a way to show them.
Maybe we shouldn't tell them.
All right, good. There you go. No more thank yous. No more you're welcomes. But we did, after that, we came back, did a little business, and we went and watched a movie that is actually getting.
We saw the bats.
We saw the bats.
We saw the bats. Yeah, that's something you can do out in Austin. These bats fly out from under the bridge, and I swear I don't know where they live normally because it just looked like a bridge, and some of the bats started coming out, and they kept coming.
You know when you turn on the hose?
Yeah.
It's like, look at all this water. This was like, look at all these bats. Yeah. That's a solid stream of bats.
It made me feel like if you just walked under that bridge normally, it's just like heaving massive bats just sleeping during the day. Because we, at a certain point, we're like, all right, well, I guess we're going to go because this is not settling down.
It's not letting up. Yeah, that was really cool, though. That was a lot more than when I got a better view of it this time than the first year.
Oh, dope. Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
The person in front of us got pooped on.
Yeah, it was funny as a kid. But we went back. We walked all the way back because we were healthy. And we watched a movie that already has a good amount of buzz and will get a wide release, as far as I know.
I believe in October.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah.
A Professor Marston and the Wonder Women.
Yay!
This is about the origin of Wonder Woman.
And by that, I mean the literal creation in our planet of the character in the comics Wonder Woman. By
her creator, Professor Marston.
Yeah.
Which is, we did leave in the middle because the fantastic karaoke contest, whatever,
which was
happening.
A lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun, and the whole cast of Ant the Apocalypse performed, and I met a bunch of them, and they were so nice, and it was so cool, and so Scottish, and it was so nice.
What's so weird is they all seemed so incredibly shocked that their movie was as well received as it was, which just surprised. I would have assumed they knew. You know what I mean? I would have assumed that they were on top of it.
True, because like the music's really fun, and like, oh man, when you guys gonna get a treat when that gets a wide release. I hope so. They're still working on getting a wide release for it.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, you're talking to one of the producers.
I really wanted to. It's so good. Anyways, though, so we didn't get to finish Professor Marston and the Wonder Woman because it's going to be a wider release.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean we didn't get a good idea of what this movie is. And from everyone else who has finished watching it, loved it. I loved it. I love what we saw.
Tops.
But it is a biopic. So you have, let me go ahead and get the, cool. There's no cast.
It's Luke Evans as Marston.
Which, I mean, I don't know. Do you know the girl?
Rebecca Hall is his wife.
Hall. She's great.
Yeah, the young girl that they kind of connect up with. I don't know who that actress is, but the main ones, Luke Evans and Rebecca Hall, are the the professors Marston.
And Connie Britton is in it too.
Yeah, cool. I was like, ever since American Horror Story season 1, it's like I get excited every time I see you.
Yeah, because she's so good. So yeah, it follows the story of both of the professors, even though one doesn't have the official title. She deserves it.
Yeah, because apparently Harvard. I kept forgetting it. It's like, man, this is the 30s. This is before World War II.
Yeah, this is. They say a line where you're like, it kind of catches you off guard because you forget what the time period is. They're like, they say, "Can you get us a drink?" And they say that's illegal. And I was like, oh man, that must have been weird. Also, they're scientists, so they just make it, which is amazing. But no, it's exploring the birth of psychology, and the Marstons invented the lie detector, so that you get a lot of that's why the lasso of truth and everything like that.
It's very surprisingly. I was surprised that like, oh, this is on horror, even though I shouldn't have been, because it's a very kinky tale that they tell. Yeah,
it's because if you can't tell from the Wonder Woman comics, the creator may have been into bondage a little bit. And also just the political climate when it comes to homosexuality and
or polygamy.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun ideas they play around with, and they do it in a way where when we were watching it in the sea of all these other movies, it feels like a very normal biopic. Not saying that it's doing a paint by numbers storytelling, because there are a lot of interesting things they do, but the tone of it feels like a normal biopic.
Yeah.
Like Walk the Line or Ray or something like that. It just feels like you know what I mean. Like it's got that.
No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, and but that doesn't mean that the performances aren't fucking phenomenal
Luke
from
Evans
everybody.
is great. Rebecca Hall's fantastic.
I gotta give it a Rebecca Hall, which just for me, I think it's the first time I've probably seen her in something else, but
Iron Man
first...
3 at least.
Oh, what?
She's the girl in Iron Man 3. She's like
that's what it means.
What's his face's main right hand, the main bad guy. I was gonna say what he eventually. It's how long has that movie been out? Mandarin, the real Mandarin. She's his right hand person.
Weird.
Yeah.
I like her better in this.
Yeah,
she's
you don't
really
remember
good.
Iron Man 3 very well, do it. See, that's what's overrated. Anyway,
I like that movie.
But you can't remember it.
Well, now we have to watch it. Everybody gather around. We're gonna watch this movie. No, she blew me away. But Luke Evans, I really want to give him some praise because normally he is forgettable in movies to me. He does not have a defining role for me, except for now Professor Marston, because he was so fucking phenomenal in this.
Yeah.
The movie explored, because it's the birth of psychology, it's also talking about the ideas of dominance and submissiveness and the way they discover how to build a lie detector test, which I know every goddamn person who ever is going to listen to this is like, lie detector tests don't work. I'm like, it's the birth of it, all right? They're figuring it out, and also you kind of
technically they do. I mean, it's not that you can't trick them, but they do.
Yeah, they work enough. If a person's not training their whole life to control their heartbeat, then the lie detector's going to get them. The exploration of sexuality and free love, and also because it just happened, women getting the right to vote. The way they talk about it is the way that people talk about like MLK and other people, because it's just like in a way, because these are just big social rights activists, and that are maybe older now or are in prison or something like that, or we're just not going to see them on screen. It was very cool that they made it feel like a present day movie in 1928, or at least put us into the world of how that time period would have felt like.
Yes. Now, Sam.
Yes.
We're at the time where we talk about our final movie of the festival,
which we ended on a fucking phenomenal note.
Oh, hell yeah, we did. Now I'll give you the narrative of my experience going into this movie, before the movie, because Sam and Steve, I'm pretty sure I was like, oh, Nicolas Cage movie, oh hell yeah. And I was worried because I'm a big Nicolas Cage fan, but like,
it doesn't sound like it.
I just, he's in the stage where he's getting paid, you know what I mean? And sometimes that results in really amazing movies. I know Joe was just a couple years ago. And I didn't know if this was going to be one of those movies. And then what I didn't know is that Brian Taylor directed this movie until I was talking to somebody while I was waiting for Professor Marston to start. And he said, Brian Taylor. I'm like, oh, who's what? Brian Taylor? He's like, hey, he's part of Neville Dean and Taylor. They did the Crank movies and Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm so excited for this movie. Like I didn't realize.
That's how he got Nick Cage signed on. Now that makes sense.
Yeah. And so have you seen Spirit of Vengeance?
No, yeah, but you love it.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's insane. Well, you've seen this movie. It's insane.
Oh my God. So, but before we, really quick, this movie is called Mom and Dad.
Yes.
Here's the synopsis. Selma Blair also.
Awesome.
Which, again, like the only other movie I can think of that she's in is the Hellboy series.
Yeah.
Selma Blair and Nicolas Cage are seemingly ideal parents until an unknown force causes their town's adults to murder their offspring.
The first
second,
yeah.
The first opening shot is that, and you're like, "What the fuck are we getting into?"
Yeah.
And your buddy, your favorite writer in the whole world, has a little cameo.
Yeah. I'm going to spoil it. Nobody else is going to recognize him. Grant Morrison.
No one knows. No one knows what most comic book writers
when you're watching Mom and Dad, there's a point where quote unquote expert comes on and he's got a Scottish accent. That's Grant Morrison. It shocked me. And what I found out is because Brian Taylor is the producer behind the new Happy adaptation.
Is he show running it or producing it?
Talking to him, it sounds like he's show running it.
Yeah, and that would be perfect because he would make that show bonkers, because it would just it needs it.
Yeah.
But this movie, Grant Morrison's character, he comes on, and the way he does his Grant Morrison writer pitch for the movie is the perfect way to describe it. It's the innate feeling of love that parents have towards their children, that like they'll jump in front of a wild animal or a car to protect their young. what if you reversed it?
Yeah.
What if it's still love, but they need to kill them now, and like that's what and it's in like if someone tried to take your kid away from you, you'd start freaking out. And you're like, give me that kid back. Yeah. But as soon as you get your hands on the kid, you try to kill it. Yeah. And it's like Terminator status wanting to kill them. Yeah, they will not be stopped until they kill the kid, unless you happen to kill your parent. Yeah. So this movie is just like a lot of kids getting tricked into like meeting up with their parents.
Because your inclination is to trust your parents. Like there's a point where like a lot of school officials are trying to keep the kids away from the parents, and one of the kids, and like the parents are calling for them, and not like in a weird, crazy way, but like, hey, you know what I mean? Like you'd expect in a situation like this. And so like you'll get a kid that's like, I'm going to trust my parents, which I would be in the same situation, and then I'd be super dead.
Yeah. Yeah. And then usually it's only your parents attacking you. Yeah. Other parents don't attack. That's a cool rule they have.
Unless you're like getting in the way of them trying to kill their own kid.
Totally makes sense.
Yeah,
totally makes sense.
I mean, why not?
And it's not super violent. I mean, it's not bloody. There's some like crazy deaths. So.
Yeah, they do actually. You're right, because they don't. It could have been a lot more in your face, and I'm glad it wasn't.
Didn't need to be,
because of the nature of the situation. It allows it to this. It's fun.
Oh,
it's hilarious.
It's so funny. It's Brian Taylor.
Yeah.
Said, Nick, just you be you, man. Like I'm not gonna stop you. And like Nick Cage is full meme Nick Cage in this movie. There's a scene where he and his son are talking. Yeah. And it's great. The editing in this movie is really cool. They really make it very like pulpy and like saturated, and you're like, and like a lot of loud sounds. Yeah, it feels like you're having a panic attack while like the screen's having a panic attack. But there's a lot of scenes where like the dad, Nick Cage, is about to attack the son, and right before something happens, it cuts to a flashback where they're getting along.
The flashbacks are amazing.
Yeah, like and there's like the one that like is the most Nick Cage is he's sitting with his son outside, and the kid did something wrong. And we keep getting these flashbacks throughout the movie of Nick Cage when he was young. He was this crazy teen of like he's having sexual drive in his dad's car, and he's like got like boobs in his face, and like he's like drinking, and you're like, what the? He was a punk. And he's talking to his son. He's like, don't worry. I used to be crazy like that too. We do crazy things. But he's like, you know what? My dad forgave me, and like I paid off that car, and I grew up and I had you. Yeah. And you're like, but the way he's saying it, he's like, when you. What did he say? He says something and he's like, sorry, fall in love.
No, he's
like, when you like,
oh man,
this is probably not what it is, and I'm sorry for this crass. It's like, he's like, when you get some pussy or something like that, yeah, he's like, sorry, fall in love. And you're like, oh my God, he would be.
Yeah, when they say like two seemingly idealistic parents, it's like, Selma Blair definitely is like mom.
Yeah.
Before she gets affected by the thing. Nick Cage is dad, but he's also Nick Cage, so it's like dad was always a little
dad was watching porn with the volume on at work.
I think he was dreaming.
That was him
because when he wakes up, the sound cuts. The sound of the porn cuts. I thought the same thing, and then when he wakes up, it stops, and you see his screen, and there's nothing on there.
Is it the fuzz on the screen?
No.
Oh, because there's a shot when he's asleep.
Maybe I just read it.
Yeah, no, because that would be confusing.
Well, yeah, because anyway, whatever, it doesn't matter. Point is he like licks his beer can like he like it's a put like he whatever. It's crazy. My favorite scene, he gets a monologue in one of the flashbacks that might be my favorite monologue in a movie ever.
It's such a good deconstruction of what it's like to be parents, because it's just, especially if you were a wild child and maybe the kid was like not planned for.
Yeah.
It happens, guys. Let's all be honest. And sometimes it doesn't happen. Doesn't mean you don't love the kid. But like, if this is them explore that he full on breaks down. This is my favorite YouTube video is Nick Cage losing his shit.
Mm-hmm.
This is that video.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful. Also, Selma Blair caps that scene off pretty much perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the testaments to Nick Cage is, as crazy as he is, his performances, the way he plays it, I still somehow, and I don't know how he does it, I still somehow buy this as a real person.
Yeah.
Like he plays it in a way that, this dude would do that. And I could know that dude, which is not true. I've never met anybody in my life that behaves like the character in this movie behaves, but like the way Nick Cage plays, like, yeah,
totally.
You're right on. And you're right. Like some of Blair's scenes are so like when she's talking to her friend and when she's in whatever, Jazzercise, whatever. Like you really emotionally invest in her character.
Yeah.
And
when she talks to her old boss, and you're like, and it's like this sting of like you see it, like you can totally empathize with her.
Yeah.
And also, they make the kids look like little shits in the beginning of this movie.
It's funny, yeah, because the parents come off as very, some Blair comes off as very likable and relatable.
Yeah.
And the kids are, and the daughter's, I think they reverse it. Like Nick Cage is always a little over the top, but the son's cool. And then mom, great. Daughter is a hassle. Yeah. It's just a pain in the ass.
But then she becomes awesome. Yeah. And also, kids are little shits, but also like teenagers are, so they're gonna make your life hell. But it's like, what if every time a parent hated you, that all boiled up into just repressed rage and something we don't know what, we never find out what. You get a hint of what causes it.
Distributed.
Yeah. But like if that all unleashed, and it's incredible how like it's kind of like, what's a movie where it's like a controlled. Oh, did you ever see The Crazies?
No, but I think
isn't Timothy Olyphant in that? Yeah, great movie. Great, really. I don't know if it holds up, but I remember I watched it like 3 times when it came out.
Yeah,
that's a golden rule for me if I like a movie. Yeah. Ouch! I got some shit in my eye. Ow. No, it's whereas like something gets in the water and people start to go like subtly crazy, and like they do. Some people are doing normal things while it's actually really violent. Like there's one person who's like, oh, they're cleaning, and then you turn around and you're like, oh, they're cleaning. Oh, so much blood off the floor, and they're like, no, I just have to clean the house. I just have to clean the house.
Yeah.
And
there's a little bit of that in this.
And there's a lot of times where you're like, are the parents gonna get? Oh, there is a delightful introduction of some characters. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, don't spoil that one.
Yeah, it's and it is the natural progression of the story.
Yeah.
You're like, but what if they did this? And you're like, this is phenomenal, and really good acting from everybody. Mom and Dad, it's going to be one of those movies that it's not going to win anything, but it's definitely going to get a lot of buzz. And Brian Taylor is going to become a fucking legend because of that.
I liked he did a Q&A after, and I liked that somebody asked him, like, well, what inspired this movie? He's like, well, I'm a parent. And that was it. It was like, and we can move on from that,
Yeah, it's if you took it to like the worst degree.
Yeah.
And they explore fucked up shit.
Yeah.
It's great though. It's so funny.
It's an awesome movie.
I love the visual of like, there's like the main girl escapes her friend's house for a second and sees this big dude covered in blood. He's got a baseball bat, like just smeared with blood, walking towards her. And then like a guy walks up and he's like, no, he doesn't want you. And then he just goes and gets the mail. Yeah. And then he goes back and he's like, hi there.
Yeah.
So fucked up. But amazing. So I'm so glad that's how we ended it. I went back I did go back into the karaoke area because after midnight they turn the karaoke bar. They do it with a live band. Yeah. And the Apocalypse crew was still there.
No.
Still
they were tearing up, man.
They were.
Good for them.
It was really funny. Complimented my dancing.
You did. Well, I got some video of it.
We'll post it.
You were doing a great job. You should be proud of yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah. So for me, Mom and Dad is definitely, if we were to do the top 5 movies of Fantastic Fest, for me, you can see where this is going. Mm-hmm. Mom and Dad is definitely in that list, like 100%. Sam, do you have a top 5 movies of the Fantastic Fest?
Of course. I think this is pretty easy. Mom and Dad. Yeah. I can't put Professor Marston in there because we didn't finish it.
Yeah.
But if we did, I'm sure it would be in there. But Mom and Dad, 3 Foot Ball and Soul, Mary and the Witch's Flower. Yeah. What did we see after that? We saw Mary and the Witch's Flower, and we saw a movie right after that was really good. Yeah, that day we saw one right after that was really good too.
Oh no.
Cellblock 99.
Oh wait, I couldn't look at my.
Yeah, it was something else. It was Mary and the Witch's Flower. It was like a fun movie. It was cool.
Man, you guys don't even know. It just starts to.
We've seen over 15 movies, if not just 15 movies.
And the Apocalypse.
And the Apocalypse.
There you go.
5 movies. There you go.
So wait, so
Anna, Mary and the Witch's Flower, 3 Foot Ball and Soul, Mom and Dad, and Cell Block 99.
Yeah. So for me, definitely Mom and Dad and Cell Block.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely in the Apocalypse. Cold Hell, probably.
Yeah, Cold Hell.
Good Cold Hell, and then Tigers Are Not Afraid. I feel like I'm forgetting one.
No, we're definitely forgetting some.
Yeah.
There's
Haunters.
Yeah, Haunters in there.
Ooh, who do I get on my list for Haunters? Haunters is in there.
Cold Hell's so fucking good.
Oh, Play the Immortal was great.
Selma was really good. There's guys, Fantastic Fest. I don't know if we can give a more a better recommendation for. We had a fucking blast, and thanks to you guys for supporting us, and also meeting some of you guys. It was a treat, and not only we met like a good handful, like a bunch of people at Shake Shack, but we also met a bunch of you when we were just at the festival. A lot of you were there.
Yeah.
So if you live in the Austin area or around here, you can come on certain days of the festival. Still, it's going to be going on since we're leaving.
You can also go to just a movie.
Yeah, there's a standby line. If you look at the details on fantasticfest.com, you'll figure out how to do it. But no, we ran into Danny Boy. He's live with us right now.
What?
And he got to see the Five Fingers of Marseille, or the Three Fingers of Marseille.
Five Fingers of Marseille, and I heard that was really good. So I hope I get to check that. Maybe that's on our screeners.
It's on our screeners. So we have we got some screeners we should check out. Guys, I think we are wrapping up because we got to pack and we got to be out of here in a little over an hour. So let's do it.
Let's do it up, guys. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being on this journey with us. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're going to check out some of these movies we saw because they're 100% worth it. Sam, I really enjoyed that we got to do this. It was a fantastic experience. No pun intended. Little intended. That's it.
I'm glad this was your first film festival.
Yeah.
We had a great time. Now we're going to go get some barbecue.
Oh,
we haven't
yeah.
had some. Run by South Congress really quick, and then hit the airport.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan, dude.
Very cool. And I'm going to scoop up one of those bats from underneath the bridge because I want to bring it on the plane and let it go. That way it's flown the highest than any bat ever. Guys, we love you. Make sure you check out all the rest of our Fantastic Fest content here on our Patreon. But also, these videos will be going live for everybody later this week. And you can also just, at the $5 tier, you'll get the audio versions of these.
Yep.
Very cool. Anything else?
Nope.
Very cool. Guys, stay hydrated. Say I love you to the people you love. And maybe you want to walk and listen to our podcast.
There you go.
There you go. All right. Love you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.